Hey everybody, Tom the Dilettante here. I hope you're all doing well. Today, I'm going to share with you my experience with the SW Motech Pro series of tank bags and whether or not I would buy them again. Now, I've been riding motorcycles for over 20 years, but I am new to the adventure motorcycle scene, and I'm also new to tank bags. Now, while I was shopping around for various tank bag options, like you, I gravitated towards YouTube and came across a bunch of great reviews on the SW Motech bags, particularly these Pro series bags. Now, what appealed to me about these Pro Series bags is that they have this unique locking ring that make it really easy to take the bag off and on the bike. However, I did learn that that's also this thing's Achilles heel, which I'll get to in a moment. Now, despite the quick release being a seemingly nice feature, if you're going to buy this bag, you should know that the tank ring, the mounting plate, is sold separately. And for my bike, that was an extra $40 on top of a $200 to $300 bag. Now, fortunately, the ring is pretty easy to install, and of course comes with the mount and all the hardware that you need. For my 2023 GS Adventure, installation was a simple matter of removing the OEM fasteners around the gas cap, replacing them with the fasteners and base plate provided in the kit, and then installing and securing the lock ring. After some adjustments to the receiving plate on the bag itself, the whole thing drops in pretty smoothly. And as you can see, it's quite secure. To release the bag, you simply pull on the provided cord, and the whole thing comes off. The quick release mechanism and the purported build quality of these things is why I bought them. Now, I say them because I actually ended up buying two, even though I originally only intended to buy one. The first one that I bought was this Pro City version. This is one of their larger ones and has expandable volume between 11 and 14 liters, very nice large inner pocket with a nice inside zip pocket, has two outer pockets that are zippable, and overall measures 14.6 by 11.6 by 9.8 inches tall. The build quality is quite good, and it certainly has more than enough room for me for riding around town or taking on long touring trips. And even though it's not waterproof, it does come with a waterproof cover that I just store in a Ziploc and carry with me. Overall, the bag is quite nice, and it would have been the bag I took with me on my 3,000-mile trip out west back in August, except for one fatal flaw. The bag is just too wide. As you can see here, I can't turn my bars full lock to either side without hitting the bag. This became quickly apparent to me when I went to turn the bars full right and the side pouch hit my kill switch. This made doing simple things like turning the bike around in tight spaces just more difficult than I felt like dealing with. And forget about trying to practice things like elephant turns in the dirt. That just wasn't going to happen. Yes, I probably could have just adjusted the bag back a little, but then I just felt like it got in the way while standing. So I ended up buying a second bag, their smaller Daypack. Now, the Daypack ended up being a nice sweet spot for me. It fit on the tank well, measures 5 to 8 liters in capacity, and didn't interfere with any of the controls at full lock. Dimensionally, it measures 11.4 inches long by 8.9 inches wide by 4.9 inches deep. Like the City bag, this thing's expandable, so you can undo this zipper, and this is how this thing expands between 5 and 8 liters. Now, of course, you sacrifice a little in capacity at 5 to 8 liters, but you can see here I can fit my Revit Gore-Tex gloves, plenty of room for shit to carry inside, and this nice little zip pouch pocket holds things like chapstick, lip balm, aspirin, and my National Parks Pass. And this was the bag that I took with me on my 3,000-mile trip out west last year, and everything worked out well until the end, when I realized that that cool quick release thing was in fact an Achilles heel. You see, that quick release mechanism actually uses a series of magnets in order to help align and lock it into place. And what I learned was after riding on dirt trails for a while, especially when I was following behind a friend of mine who was kicking up some dust, some of that dirt is ferrous in nature. In other words, it contains iron, and iron is attracted to magnets. So what happened is I stopped for gas later that day while it was raining, and I could not free up this mechanism. This thing was locked solid. I was almost ready to perform some field surgery on it, take my Leatherman and cut this thing off just so that I can get to my gas cap, but fortunately I was able to yank this thing hard enough and pull it free. And when I did, I noticed that all of these magnets were covered in a whole bunch of dust and grit and just preventing the mechanism from working properly. Since getting to the gas cap on a cross-country trip is kind of an important thing, I opted to go ahead and put the rain cover on this thing and strap it to my back seat and just call it a day for the rest of the trip. So, do I think these bags are well made and can meet the needs of some? Yes. Would I have bought them if I had to do it all over again? No. And there are two main reasons why that is. One, because you have to get their proprietary lock ring for each bike. If you have more than one bike, you're going to need more than one lock ring just to swap over the bags from bike to bike. But two, and most importantly, I'm not entirely convinced about the reliability of these cool quick release lock rings in a dusty environment. And 3, just a bonus one, even though this thing does come off quickly, it's not really convenient to carry around. So if you're parking somewhere and you're worried about theft or whatnot, yes, you can go ahead and release this and take it with you, but it lacks like backpack straps or something to make it a little bit easier to haul around. If I had to do it again, I probably would have gone with the Nomex tank bag by SW Moto. It's the same price, and you don't have to buy a custom lock ring. It does have the inconvenience of having to run straps around and then unstrap it if you want to get to the gas cap and so forth. But I'll take undoing a strap, which is unlikely to fail, and worst case scenario, I just cut the damn thing off, compared to a magnetic lock ring that is much more difficult to get to should it malfunction. Also, and even though I don't own one, this Nomex tank bag looks pretty versatile. You can take it off the bike and you can actually get some backpack straps that pop out of it to carry it around. Now I admit, I'm saying that I would go with the SW Moto bag, but I've never owned one. I do have some SW Moto gear though, like this 30-liter duffel, and I will say that this thing is built like a brick shithouse. It was clearly designed to handle earthquakes, volcanic eruptions, lava flows, meteorites, the zombie apocalypse, and your mom. So if this is the kind of build quality I can expect from all of SW Moto's gear, then I might just have to get one for next season. Anyway, what about you? Do you have a favorite tank bag that you swear by that you would recommend? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear about it and maybe even check it out someday. In the meantime, if you know anyone who wants to buy a couple of SW Motech tank bags, let me know. Thank you as always for watching, and until the next time, this is Tom the Dilettante saying keep on tinkering and keep on learning. Have a good one.